Bim! Guess what? It's just gone 10 o'clock. It is Sunday. That could only mean one thing. It's time for the news. Well, the weekly news, a review, an opinion roundup of the week from around the world. If you listen to this on the podcast, welcome. If you're watching this live, join in the chat room. If you're watching this later on, feel free to comment in the comments. That's what it comes to there for. So you can comment in the comments, otherwise I may not plan any comments. Yeah, we're basically looking at the news that's gone on this week. Now, there's only two real main news stories, both of which are political. But there's also the news that I've gone viral. I think 100,000 views on TikTok is viral. I mean, it's not ultra viral, but it's viral anyway. And various other things have occurred, so we will do the news. Alan was a day early for the news yesterday. Hi Dream, hope you're good. Hi Alan, hope you're good too. Also T, hope you're good. And anyone else who is joining us during the course of this broadcast. Don't forget, I will mention all the names of everyone who's joined in the chat at the end, and we'll also look at some analytics. But because it's been a one news story week this week, too, there's not really a huge amount to get through, so we're having a bit more fun than usual at the end of it, which I think is always fun, because otherwise it wouldn't be fun, would it, if there wasn't fun. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we will get started. I thought it was Sunday night last night. Yeah, and like I said to you last night, on Thursday I was convinced it was Friday. So, you know, I think it must be an age thing. I'm definitely going bolder, aren't I? Yeah, that means I've got to be more intelligent. The thicker you get, the more intelligent you get, apparently. Not the thicker you get, the bolder you get, the more intelligent you get, which kind of proves the point. I'm still thick because I've still got hair. Anyway, Monday the 1st of July. July, we're already in the 7th month, it's ridiculous. Supreme Court says Trump has some immunity for official duties when he was president. And on June the 6th, or January the 6th, he was still president. Now, official duties, that means telling people to go and have a riot in the Capitol is, you know, something official duties, I'm not exactly sure. Far-right party do very well in the French elections. They are the National Rally Party. They are far right, and France has two lots of elections, so this was the result from the previous day, which was Sunday, and the first result from the first election showed that the far right were incredibly popular. There was be another vote towards the end of the week that would give the final results. Tuesday, Lucy Letby guilty of attempted murder of a baby, Kay, after a retrial following her conviction of many murders of many babies. The sentencing of Trump is delayed, and Keir says broken system. Due to the broken system, some prisoners will have to be released up to 70 days early. If you become Prime Minister, obviously. Last day before the election was Wednesday. Hurricane Beryl hits Jamaica earlier than normal, but due to global climate change, apparently. And daughter and husband of Sir Captain Tom banned from running or being organised in any charities following money being used for, you know, nice building and a big pool and stuff. Thursday the 4th, Hezbollah fired 200 missiles into Israel, and almost 30,000 people are evacuated from major fires in California, which brings us to Friday the 5th. Starmer starts as PM after a landslide. Wasn't a landslide at all. I mean, saying landslide is... Yeah, anyway, we'll go into that in a bit. Starmer says, as PM, he's going to destroy the country. Oh no, that's what I said, he's going to destroy the country. We're already half destroyed anyway, so we might as well finish it off. I predict high fuel tax, pay per mile, cigs and vapes and alcohol, all the tax going up on them. He started naming his new cabinet, and Rishi Sunak in his resigning speech said he heard your anger and he will quit as leader of the Tory party as soon as they get a new leader. SNP fall apart in Scotland, losing 38 seats, mainly to Labour. Jay Slater family told to bring in their own search teams if they want to carry on the search. And Andrew Tate, yes, will be allowed to leave Romania while awaiting trial for human trafficking. I mean, that seems a bit of a... just not want a trial him. So yeah, go on, you can leave the country, just promise not to come back. Saturday the 6th, landslide victory, he says. Keir Starmer. Changing country, not an overnight exercise. Oh, we're backtracking already, says Keir. Prisoners, new minister says that they will not... the new prison minister, who is the person who runs Timpson's, you know, the key cutting place and the cobblers and all that, they employ a lot of ex-prisoners in order to rehabilitate them into society. And he says 2/3, or he said in February, 2/3 of all prisoners in the country should not be in prison. 1/3 just shouldn't be in prison, full stop. Another third, mainly women, shouldn't be in prison because it affects their mental health too much. But 1/3 should be in prison. It does seem a bit weird that people are saying that when we're trying to get more people in prison for doing stuff that is wrong. There was a sports highlight of the week on Saturday, as you may or may not be aware, and it's not often I talk about sport on this channel. But yeah, there were 3 Brits in the top 3 on the grid for tomorrow, as in today's British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Sadly, not the order I'd want. I wanted Norris first, Russell second, and Hamilton if we had to third. But it turned out it was Russell first, Hamilton second, and Norris third. And we look forward to a very exciting race. This was after Max Verstappen had trashed the inside of his car. I don't think there was any other sport on Saturday to mention, so we'll leave that. 5th Democratic Senator says that Biden should quit because he's useless. And in Gaza there's an airstrike by Israel on a school which is sheltering people who've been basically displaced by the war. 16 people confirmed dead. Brings us to today, the 2nd French election. This puts the right wing now 3rd, and I'm like, oh, hang on a minute, is that right? Are they? Why are they allowed to vote twice? It's a bit like we'll do Brexit, but then just in case people don't like it, we'll do another Brexit. So look what you could have got. So you could have got a right wing government, but let's not do that. Let's have another go, and then you can pick a left wing government, which is what they've done. And the whole thing just seems to be utter looks. But we'll have to wait and see. I might be wrong on that. It's it's a bit like saying, you know, after this landslide victory, wasn't a landslide. After this landslide victory, wasn't a landslide. Then you know, we're like, ooh, don't we want Labour to have so many seats? So let's have another vote next week, and then we'll see if we can reduce the majority so it makes it a little bit more democratic rather than authoritarian. Labour begin to set up the new border control, and they also say they're going to step up support for Ukraine and will deliver from Scotland, all of which costs money. Don't know where the money's coming from. Oh yeah, hang on a minute, let's have a look. More than likely, high fuel tax, pay per mile to drive on road, cigarettes, vapes, and alcohol tax. I mean, I don't know this, I'm just guessing that's what's going to happen. Which brings me to, you have to bear with me on this one, brings me to the main news of the week, which isn't actually, but it is. It's the election. Now the election was interesting for a number of reasons, least of which is the percentages. Now you always look at percentages, or I always look at percentages anyway, because I think if you want to look at what is going on, you need to look at the percentage of the votes. So we'll ignore the bottom ones because they've not really changed that much. What's that? What's that? Is that that? No, it's on this side. What's that? What is that? What's that? What is that? What is that? I'm going to get rid of that. I don't like that. Sorry. Right then, so this is, now disclaimer, this was posted by Nigel Farage. However, it does show an interesting concept. Labour got 34% of the vote, which means 66% of the population did not vote for them. Now, on average, it was 50% who did, so you could say 33% of the population didn't vote for him, although I don't think maths works like that. I'm not a Carol Vorderman person, in more ways than one. God, she's insane. Anyway, so Labour got 34% of the vote. Now, last election in 2019, their vote was very similar, but they were wiped out. They were destroyed. It was the end of Labour. Labour would never come back again. This was, they'd done so badly, it was awful. And with a very small change in the percentage, they've now got 63% of the seats of the MPs in Parliament. And you're like, how does that work? The Conservatives, they got 24% of the vote and ended up with 19%, which seems, about right. Reform UK, they got 14% of the votes, but ended up with 1% of the seats. Now, when the exit poll came out, they were predicted to have 30 odd seats. I think they ended up with 5, maybe. Liberal Democrats, they got 12% of the vote, so they got 2% less than Reform. This is nationally, but they got 11% of the seats. So they got less people voting for them, numbers-wise, in boxes, but they got 10% more seats than Reform. Green Party, they got 7%. They ended up with 1%, which is literally the smallest amount you can get, which I think is 2. SNP, they only had 3%, but got to remember this is national, and the SNP are obviously only based in Scotland, but their vote did just drop off a cliff. They got 1%, which is 10 in their case. DUP, Plaid Cymru, and the rest all got 1% as well. But it does seem very, very, very peculiar. I have a friend in New York. She says Biden's latest gaffe was on TV. He said Sunak was Britain's first Asian woman Prime Minister. Well, yeah. There you go. Hiya, Angela. Angela's on as well. No one else is on yet. We're not had a rudder. None of them are fit to run a bath, let alone countries. You are right. Our politics, world politics, is absolutely shafted at the minute. But it does make you wonder when you see stuff like that, that you get 14% of the vote, but you get a handful of seats where you get 34% of the vote, which is only double and a bit, and you get 63%. British politics is knackered. But then you look at France politics, we've just covered that already, and that doesn't make sense either. And then I think I mentioned before in an earlier broadcast, I was talking to a mate who was moving to the Netherlands, Holland, and it was just after their election, and they'd gone right wing, and the new leader, the guy who won, said that he was going to stop immigration and do this, that and the other. And I said to this guy who was moving there, I said, was that going to screw you off with what you want to do? And he went, no, not really, because I've already got my paperwork and everything. Plus, because the way it works over there means that he probably won't be Prime Minister or President or whatever it is they have, because he got the most votes doesn't mean he's going to win, because it's proportional representation. And I'm like, what? And that seems worse than this. So there's got to be a fairer way of doing it. Surely there's a way of, the percentage of the vote should affect the percentage of people you have in Parliament, but maybe not. I don't know. Don't forget though, like I said, Reform UK got 14. It doesn't matter whether you agree with Reform UK or not. I mean, this could be your party that could be in this position. They got 14% and they got 1% of the seats in Parliament, whereas the Liberal Democrats got only 12%, so 2% less, and they got 11%, which was 60 odd, or was it even 70? I think they got the last one declared in Scotland. So yeah, I don't understand where British politics is going. I think the whole thing is completely insane. Just saying. But it's not just here, is it? Because if you go to America and Australia, things are not much better there either. So let's go to Dum 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 dum. Australia. What's going on in Australia? What are we doing here? Oh, that's why we're here. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here, boy? Hey, boy, what are we doing here, boy? The answer is, we're looking at Australian news. England is doomed. Yes, England is doomed. Australia's crime capital is revealed. And it was, where was it? Queensland. The clue's on the badge. It's not just thrown together this, you know. Family using barbecue as indoor heater narrowly avoids disaster. Yes, they were using a barbecue to heat their house up because they can't afford the gas and electric to heat their houses up in Australia. See, it's not just Britain that's got this problem, it's all over the world. And they were using a barbecue, which obviously gives off carbon dioxide, which kills people. I honestly hope Slimy Stormer proves me wrong and does a good job. I would rather be wrong about him and live in a better country. Me too, but sadly I don't think we're going to be wrong. Booktopia collapses. Australia's biggest bookstore has entered voluntary administration. The online retailer failed to secure emergency funding, with the ASX announcing today consultants have been appointed to oversee company restructure, which basically means they've gone bust, which proves the point that people don't read books anymore, although I sell a few books, not a lot. You still won't give Scots our desert. Yeah, but SDP went down to 10, and they were saying this was a vote on the referendum, and they've lost 38 seats and gone down to 10. So to me, that means the Scottish people do not want independence. So there you go. A standing ovation for living legend at Wimbledon, Sir David Attenborough, there, 90 odd, going watching a bit of tennis. Breaking news, pro-Palestinian demonstrators have scaled the roof of Parliament House in Canberra and unfurled multiple banners. It's described as a major security breach. That is basically Australia's House of Parliament, and people are on it with protesters, and they're going on about the war in Gaza. But sadly, not in the right way. I agree with them to a degree, but not everything they say, because you can't protect Hamas. Fatima Payman quits Labour Party. With a heavy heart but a clear conscience, I announce my resignation from the Labour Party. This is Senator Fatima Payman has announced her split from the Labour Party will instead sit as an independent. The West Australian politician was suspended by Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on Sunday for crossing the floor and supporting a Greens motion on Palestinian statehood. Well, she's going to do, isn't she, if she's a Muslim? You can't pick on people for that, jeez. Ellen DeGeneres done with career. 3 cheers, everybody. Hip hip, hooray. First woman in UK history to be Chancellor, and she may even be worse than Liz Truss and that guy she had. I can't even remember his name. This is in Australia. Gas shortages to hit earlier than expected. They're having a colder winter than usual, so the gas reserves have been used. That's what they're there for, isn't it? I don't know. Then we get on to Biden. Now this is the only story from America that I'm covering because it's so important and it is so insane. It's like if you if they made a TV show about this, or if they did a movie about it, people would be complaining about it not being realistic, and that would never be the position that we're in. Now, I don't blame Biden at all for this. In fact, I think Biden is one of the biggest victims in the whole thing. He's being used by people where he should be nicely tucked up in a retirement home with a cup of cocoa, watching war movies or whatever it is he gets excited about. He shouldn't be in a position where he is basically put in front of the world and then ridiculed. He is obviously, although I think more people have seen it now, a very ill man. And it's irrelevant what party he's with or whatever. If I saw him walking down a Wigan street on his own, I'd actually be concerned about his well-being. You know, do I go over, offer help, or do I just keep an eye on him from a distance and just see he gets wherever he's going safely, or do I call the police or someone? Because, you know, the poor guy is being abused by the people who are meant to be supporting him and helping him, and sadly that's not the case. It is elder person abuse that's going on at the minute, and we're all seeing it, and the rest of the world can see it, and now finally some of the Democrats are beginning to see it as well. Biden's ugly debate performance sparks full-fledged Democrat civil war. And then the newspaper that we're getting this from say, get your popcorn. The hottest political show at the moment is one Americans haven't seen for decades. Democrats behaving like Republicans. Suddenly, members of the party with a recent habit of sticking together are engaged in a circular firing squad, which is basically what the Tories did. The insults, name-calling and nasty exchanges echo the way that they have squandered the position that they're in, but they're all... It is abuse. Second Democratic Congress member declares no confidence in Biden's 2024 candidacy, says Trump is going to win. Just one sitting, as of Tuesday afternoon, just one sitting congressional Democrat, Republic, Lloyd Doggett of Texas, had called on Biden to bow out of the race, and another, Republican Jared Golden of Maine, suggested it did not matter since it's been clear for months Donald Trump is going to win, but he still withdraws his support for his leader. Biden says he nearly fell asleep at the debate and blames foreign travel, despite having a week off to rest from the foreign travel. President Biden claimed foreign travel left him so tired, that he nearly fell asleep during his disastrous debate performance, even though he had 13 days to recover from his most recent trip abroad, including a full week at Camp David with afternoon naps. I mean, if your commander-in-chief has to have afternoon naps, there is something wrong somewhere. Release date of Jill Biden's Vogue interview was poorly timed. If anyone had any doubts as to why First Lady Jill Biden is still pushing hubby Joe to fight on for re-election, the Vogue puff piece released on July the 1st shall settle it. Jill adores the spotlight, staying in the race can't be good for Joe Biden's failing health and puts him on course to end his career, humiliated after trying to hang on when he obviously can't function. And a few people have said this. She's the glamorous wife who likes all this attention, and she's the one pulling all the strings and keeping him in the limelight. Biden falls behind Trump in key swing states, safe areas in play after disastrous debate, says a leaked Democratic poll. Biden has lost ground to Trump in more than a dozen battleground states or districts after a disastrous debate performance, according to polling conducted by Democrat-affiliated non-profit. So yeah, it's just a shit show, isn't it, at the moment, what's going on in America. White House staffers reportedly scared shitless of erratic Biden, tiptoe around isolated president during briefings, not a pleasant person to be around. Some White House staff have been forced to tiptoe around the President Biden when briefing him on certain topics because they want to avoid eliciting his wrath and are scared shitless of him, in a new report. Yeah, you can't you can't say anything to him that you don't think he'll agree to. Yeah, that's going well then, isn't it? What's this one? That one. There we are. Biden's stark deadline shocked leaders at G7 summit with president screaming out of it. What? So much for cheap fakes. European leaders were shocked by the stark decline in President Biden's physical and mental fitness when he attended the G7 summit in Italy last month. The latest in a series of blatant disclosures about the 81-year-old's president's diminished condition since Biden shocked the watching world with a disastrous performance on the debate. So the world leaders are concerned about Biden as well. I mean, that's comforting, isn't it? It's not comforting at all. G7 summit is where the top Western economies, 7 economies, go and do meetings about what we're going to do about trade and this, that and the other. It used to be G8, I think it's been G9 as well, but Russia got kicked out and China got kicked out, which is why it's more Western based now. Although Australia might be in it, I'm not sure. Kamala Harris set to inherit $240 million in Democrat funds if Biden drops out, because transfer is tricky for any other candidate because it's so close to the election. Kamala Harris is poised to take Joe Biden's place if he drops out of the presidential race, in part because she's the only person who can take control of the Democrats' $240 million war chest. Oh, Stephen's here with Tegs and Runner. That's not been great, I'll be honest, but you know, what can you do? Hope yours has been better than mine. A Whoppers special, the left twists and turns after Joe Biden's debate debacle. A diary of disturbing disinformation and dangerous delusions. President Biden's catastrophic debate performance revealed to the world the sorry state of his cognitive decline, putting Democrats and their media's sock puppets in a jam. Some of them are now forced to admit what they've long denied about his mental condition. Others are still gaslighting about it. And that's the problem. People are not believing, are not telling the truth about it. And it's abuse. There's no other word to describe it. He's being abused in front of the world. Biden's Supreme Court outburst revealed the falsehoods at the heart of his presidency. Vote for me or the Constitution dies is President Biden's latest pitch to revive his faltering re-election campaign. In 4 minutes of the remarks, he condemned a Supreme Court decision while signalling his plans to pirouette as the reincarnation of George Washington. The High Court ruled that day that presidents may not be prosecuted for exercising his public legal duties. Basically, you can go out and do what you want. Ridiculous. Donald Trump's sentencing for hush money cause likely to be pushed back after a ruling. Donald Trump's sentencing in his Manhattan hush money trial was thrown into limbo after prosecutors agreed that the historic event should be delayed in light of the US Supreme Court's ruling granting presidents immunity for official acts. Now, I don't understand what an official act is in lying about your documents, about your money that you paid. If he'd have said he paid hush money not to talk about him, that would actually be better than what he did and not illegal. Biden tells Democratic governors he needs more sleep, so no events after 8 p.m. At least he stays up later than Keir Starmer anyway, because he wants to finish at 6, doesn't he? You watching this, Keir? Do some bloody work, mate. President Biden told a gathering of nearly 24 Democratic governors, the White House, that he needs to get more sleep and work fewer hours, and even to avoid events held after 8 p.m. Despite indications he can only handle the rigours of the job between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Biden's acknowledgement was reported by the New York Times, but yeah, he's... where are we? It's just sad, it's just sad, it's just sad. We're literally watching a man die in front of us. Democrats begin to split from Biden. President Biden may soon face increased pressure from Democrats in Congress to drop out of the 2024 race. At least 25 House Democrats are preparing to call for the 81-year-old president to end his re-election bid in the wake of his disastrous debate against the former President Donald Trump. Now, the irony of that is that it was Biden who actually wanted that to go ahead. In fact, he pretty much forced Trump into having the debate. So, yeah, didn't work. Crucial Biden ABC interview hosted by ex-Clinton official moved up as president desperately tries to prove he can stay in the race. So, following in the footsteps of Princess Diana, Prince Andrew, and various other people who thought, we know what we'll do. Oh, we talked about it before, didn't we? Captain Tom's daughter and husband. We'll have an interview, that'll clear everything up. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Well, anyway, ABC News has pushed forward the release of its crucial interview with President Biden as pressure mounts on the 81-year-old to stay in the race. Now the weird thing is, these things never actually help the situation, but we wait to see what the interview was like. With Biden's political future dead, Democrats need to reach grief's final stage, which is acceptance. I get the idea that the New York Post is not a Biden fan. Joe Biden's political future died, but he, his family and the entire Democratic Party are still struggling through the early stages of grief. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression. The sooner they get to acceptance, the better for them and the nation. So yeah, basically what they're saying is we need to draw a line under it, move on, forget about it, and let him have a happy retirement. Biden reads from teleprompters only public event of the day before trying to reassure governors he's fit for second term. President Biden again read carefully from teleprompters at his only public event ahead of an evening meeting with Democratic governors to convince them he can still win a second term. Yep, not sure about that one. But again, the Democrats just seem intent on self-destruction. Michelle Obama leads all potential Biden replacements, would beat Trump by double digits, says a poll. Now, Michelle Obama is one of these people who does seem to have everything in the right place, but there are haters who despise her as well. So I don't really know how that would go, but I think putting someone in like that would be perfect, because it would definitely beat Trump. Former First Lady Michelle Obama, who has never expressed any desire to run for office, would easily beat former President Donald Trump in a head-to-head matchup, according to a new poll. It's only hypothetical, but we can live in hope that that is a possibility, because although everyone liked her husband, Barack, it's got to be said he wasn't the best president ever. Biden says he's the first black woman to serve with a black president in latest gaffe. President Biden described himself as the first black woman to serve with a black president, as he yet again twisted his words. His latest gaffe, as he scrambles to reassure voters he's still fit to lead. He made the slip up as he struggled to find the right phrasing while being interviewed on Philadelphia's WURD black radio station as a part of the Independence Day media blitz that he was doing. I mean, if you're going to get it wrong, you don't get it wrong on a black radio station. Or maybe you do. Well, obviously, you do. Trump challenges Biden to no-holds-barred presidential debate. Prove his competence or lack thereof. Now, the clips I've seen of Trump at that debate, the ill-fated debate, I actually thought Trump behaved himself. I think he feels sorry for Biden as well, which is something I thought I'd never say. Donald Trump showing compassion, but there you go, this is where we're at, it's 2024, things are different. But yeah, he kind of said, I don't understand what he said, and to be fair, I don't think he did either, which I thought was quite muted from former President Trump, but there you go. He challenged President Biden to another presidential debate, this time with fewer rules and no moderators, where Biden can prove his confidence or lack thereof. I don't know whether it would ever happen. Maybe the other thing is to have a remake of the Frankie Goes to Hollywood video, Two Tribes, where the presidents at the time, which were, it was America and Russia, wasn't it? So it was the Russian president was the guy with the white hair, swept back, I can never remember his name, and it was Ronald Reagan. It was the 1980s, and they had a wrestling match with all the rest of the world watching, and then the rest of the world started fighting, and then at the end of the video the whole planet blows up. Disney heiress among top Democrat donors pressuring Biden to end 2024 bid by cutting off campaign donations, and she says it's realism, not disrespect. Wealthy Democrat donors are reportedly considering ways they can compel President Biden to step aside in the 2024 2024 presidential race, including boycotting future donations to his party. No, it wasn't Gorbachev. It was it wasn't in for long. He just happened to be in at the time of the song was out. I think it was after Gorbachev. No, before Gorbachev. After Gorbachev. Before Gorbachev. No, it's before Gorbachev. Because Russia was still the enemy at that point. Maybe it's Franco Solo that actually made things better, or maybe happen, possibly. What's this one? Have I done this one? I don't know. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, I've done that one. That's Disney Princess. Not Disney Princess. Disney Heiress. See why I'm only doing Biden? Because there's so much of it. Biden loses train of thought in 4th of July speech to vet and said probably shouldn't even say that. President Biden seemingly lost his train of thought as he stumbled through his very brief Independence Day speech at the White House barbecue, bizarrely claiming that highway congestion no longer exists and nearly calling nemesis Donald Trump his colleague. I probably shouldn't even say that. Anyway, the Commander-in-Chief said after the latter, maybe it's the truth, maybe they are colluding with each other. Maybe it's all part of the big thing and he's a bit old now. Now, this is the interview. Let's picture it. And he looks about 10 years younger, and he looks a bit tanned, and he looks, you know, like Botox has been pumped into his face. But sadly, doesn't help his brain. In a terrible interview, Biden blames bad night. And when does he have a good one? The truth is that President Joe Biden's interview with George was never going to be the magic bullet his allies hoped it might be. If his debate with Donald Trump last week was the final nail in his political coffin, the days that followed it have seen a metric ton of earth heaped on the top of it. Now the president's decline cannot possibly be denied. The dam has broken. And yeah, he was better than he had been. But you look at videos of him from 4 years ago when they was fighting to become president and become president. It's a completely different guy. Arizona Governor Kate Hobbs, she keeps a gob shut mum on Biden as president's team urges lockstep unity. Arizona Governor Kate Hobbs has been publicly supportive of President Biden in the past, but she's choosing to keep silent after taking part in his Wednesday night meeting with Democratic governors. So yeah, even his supporters now are thinking, oh, hang on a minute, maybe there's something in this. Chernyanko, yeah, that's it, Chernyanko. Thank you, Alan. ABC interview proves that Joe Biden is in complete senile denial. The interview that doesn't make sense. George, the former Bill Clinton advisor and the ultimate Democratic insider, held an intervention masquerading as an interview rather than ask tough questions about President Biden's mental deficiencies and the message it sends out to our allies and enemies. He begged in a dozen different ways, do you really think you can beat Donald Trump? Obviously, Biden is going to say, yes, I can, but very slowly, and not as effectively as I just did. Fourth Democratic House member calls on Biden to exit after clips of the interview were released. So even before the full interview had been released, the highlight reel was enough for him. Biden won't undergo cognitive exam, claims he has full neurological tests every day. It looks like someone stuck a pole up his bumhole as well in that picture, but this is him trying to be a bit more chipper and a bit more, you know, with it. But like I say, it looks like someone stuck something up his bum. They hadn't. Well, I don't know, actually. Pro-Biden media are rushing to tell the truth now so they can start gaslighting about his replacement. What a profoundly dishonest movement this is for Democrats and their media allies. With the mask ripped off President Biden's incapacity, the politicians are publicly pretending Biden can last through election day as they privately discuss how they'll replace him. While the journalists are rushing to report the truth they've been keeping under wrap for all these months, and I've been going on about this for ages, as have many other people as well. I'm not saying I'm the only person who's noticed Biden's decline. I think anyone has. Trump requests pause on classified docs case after Supreme Court immunity ruling. Lawyers for Donald Trump are requesting a halt to the classified documents case against him, arguing that a recent Supreme Court decision guts claims by prosecutors that the former president has no immunity from criminal responsibility for hoarding national security papers. Now, he's got national security papers in his Mar-a-Lago ranch, compound, whatever the hell it is, and but he's no longer president, so he doesn't have any immunity anyway. If he put them away when he was president, then maybe, but if he took them after he was president, and if he still had them when he shouldn't have had them, then he's not president, so he's not immune. Pro-Dem media's flip on Biden shows how they shamelessly make up the rules as they go along. So this is the New York Post having a go at the opposition media, which is probably your CNN and all them. Defiant President Biden pledges at campaign rally, "I'm running and going to win again." Joe Biden doubled down on his refusal to leave the presidential race at a Madison, Wisconsin rally, saying, "I'm the nominee." The 81-year-old president made the remarks as he seeks to prove he can remain a viable candidate in the aftermath of his poor debate performance against Donald Trump. He's not even a viable old man, sadly, anymore. It's just awful. Defiant Biden vows, "I'm the nominee," but says wrong election year at Wisconsin rally. President Biden doubled down on his refusal to leave the presidential race, and "I'm the nominee, and that I'm running and I'm going to win again." But at one point mistakenly spoke as if the election year was 2020. Oh dear. Oh my. I just knew that was going to happen. Oh, hang on, we want to open. There we go. Election is Donald Trump's to lose after Biden debate debacle, says ex-New York Governor David Paterson. The race for the White House is Donald Trump's to lose after the Democratic Party twisted itself into knots over President Biden's debate debacle and whether the struggling 81-year-old should remain at the top of the ticket. I don't think he should. I may have already said this. Even though I'm not American, I just feel it's human. It's humanity, isn't it, we're watching. Biden should be mopping the floor with Donald Trump, but he's losing because of his age, says a Republican, Adam Schiff. So even Adam Schiff, who's a Republican, i.e. a Donald Trump supporter, says that Biden should be mopping the floor with Donald Trump. The whole world's gone mad. Trump reveals what he thinks Biden's next move should be. Former President Donald Trump said President Biden should ignore mounting calls for him to drop out of the race for the White House following his dismal debate performance. Trump 78 took to his Truth social website and sarcastically advised Biden he should plough forward with his campaign and dismiss the growing number of Democrats who wish to see another candidate in his place. I wonder why he's doing that. Oh yeah, because he's definitely going to win if Biden remains there. Biden basically said he's going to keep running anyway unless God tells him otherwise. So unless God strikes him down, or he comes to him in a dream, or something else equally unlikely, Biden is just going to keep going, because that's what Biden does. We just keep going. We don't stop for no one. We are the President of the United States of America, and we stop for no one like that, you see. Where are we? Oh, hang on, I've lost my page. Video clips. Right, just to lighten the mood a little bit, I've gone viral. Not even joking. 100,000 views is viral, isn't it? Yeah, it's viral for an old white man anyway. Go away. Let's have a look at this, see if we can get this working. So, I don't think we have the... do we? No, we don't. I'm going to have to put it on the testing camera, so just ignore the thing. But there you go. So, the cinema one, 107,000 views on a video I posted on Wednesday, which isn't bad, is it? But you want to see the video, don't you? I know you do. You said you did. So here is the video, just to lighten the load a little bit, because, well, it's been a bit rubbish, hasn't it? Welcome to Omniplex Wigan. the max screen, including beds. Welcome to Omniplex Wigan, the max screen, including beds. Welcome to Omniplex Wigan. That is the news that the new cinema has opened up in Wigan, basically in the building that was the Empire Cinema that had had nothing spent on it since Branson built it as a Virgin Cinema decades ago. And it is fantastic. I went on a press preview VIP night. I was in a queue with at least 3 Wigan Rugby League players, although I didn't know any of them. And I also bumped into Adam off Coronation Street, who plays Addy, who's one of the twins of the guy who runs the shop. He was there as well, and I said, in typical, I don't know, what do I say? And I went, "Oh, are you the guy off Coronation Street?" And he went, yeah, I'm Adam. I said, "Oh, I'm Tony." So I didn't know you lived around Wigan. He says, "No, I don't live around Wigan." He says, "I get an invite because I do a lot of stuff on social media, stuff like that." And then that were it. He did give me a little nod later on in the evening when we walked past each other. So yeah, I've been mingling with celebrities. Another weird thing as well, talking of the general election, is the fact that I know quite well, not one, but 2 people who stood to be MPs at this election, which is not something I'd ever thought I'd ever say. Neither of them got in, to be fair. One was, both of them have been interviewed actually on Wigan Watch. One of them was Maureen O'Byrne, the independent councillor, and the other one was Michael Winstanley, the former mayor of Wigan, even though he's a Tory. So yeah, and then I'd say kind of celebrity do thing. It gets very weird in my life on occasion. Anyway, the news that makes you go, ooh, like that. Or just stuff that makes me laugh during the week. Reuters, which is a worldwide news outlet, the leader of Britain's Liberal Democrat Party, Ed Davey, continued his election campaigning theme of eye-catching stunts with a bungee jump in southern England. Britain goes to the polls on July the 4th, and it made world news. Also made Have I Got News for You news. In Eastbourne, Ed Davey goes all out to secure late votes as he finds a way to canvass voters with conservatories and skylights. I mean, what that guy has done, many people have said, it's not been an election campaign for Ed Davey, it's been like a very long stag do with very little alcohol. He's done everything from canoeing, waterboarding, zip lining, bungee jumping, making, painting pottery, cooking. He's just done so much stuff, all to get votes, and it's worked. Their party's gone up to the highest number of MPs it's had in a considerable length of time. Meanwhile, independent US presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he has so many skeletons in his closet when asked about an allegation in Vanity Fair article that he sexually assaulted a former family babysitter. Right, so independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy, when challenged with an article that said he sexually assaulted, doesn't matter who it was, anyone, said he has so many skeletons in his closet. Well, that seems like the kind of person we want running the free world, isn't it? Not. The brief EF1 tornado picked up a truck and at a used car dealership and flung it into traffic. So this was a mini tornado. I've learned a lot about tornadoes this week. EF1 is a very small tornado. EF5s are the massive one that rip buildings apart and things like that. Fortunately, I can't tell you how I know this, but I do. So there you go then. And this was a little tornado, but enough to pick up that ute and throw it into the way of oncoming traffic. Now we get back to the world of Jay Slater and what is going on. Rumours came out that Jay Slater had taken a £12,000 Rolex and was scared of leaving a Tenerife Airbnb. At least that's what a TV investigator says. I mean, the whole thing is weird, but I don't think it's that weird. The replacing Sunak with Starmer is like changing your tie when you've shat your pants. And I'm like, yep, that's pretty much what it's like. We're not going to get any change. I smell a rat with this story. You're right on both of them. Yeah, there's something going on. There's definitely something going on with the Jay Slater thing. I genuinely hope he's okay wherever he is. But if it is some kind of weird scam thing that's going on, then I think the family, if they're all in on it, should be held accountable for the amount of money that's been spent on a search for him. Stop voting for warmongering terrorist. Labour will take us to war again. Vote Reform today. Marty, we've got to go back to 1962 and give Keir Starmer's dad a condom. That's my kind of humour. I do like that one. Anyway, back to F1. And God, I know I'm old, but my God, I feel really old. A driver announced to be racing with Haas next year is this guy, Ollie Behrman, and he signed a multi-year deal with Haas. He's 19 years old, he looks about 12, and he's also currently, I think, 14th in the points for the F1 this year, when he only raced one race in a Ferrari, Haas being the Ferrari's second team kind of thing. Wish him all the well, but yeah, you talk about policeman looking younger, my God. Looks like he's starting his first day at bloody secondary school. It was a disappointing night for George Galloway, who's not only lost his seat, but also the coveted Best Election Hat Award. Obviously, George Galloway left. And one of the, what do they call them? What do they call official counter reader outer, with a very, very swish hat on, with the feathers and everything. Certainly was dressing up like the sheriff in the oldie days when they used to announce results. And you know, I said before about you know, when you see someone like Ollie Behrman getting a job in F1, you feel old. Well, I'll tell you now, if you remember this next picture, you are old. You better watch out, you better not try, you better watch out, I'm telling you why. No, wrong song. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, the Humphrey's about. Something like that anyway. Unigate milk. Remember back in the really old days when we used to have electric vehicles and recycle the bottles. And yeah, all milk floats were electric, and all the milk bottles we used to put back on the step, and the milkman would take them away and they'd get washed and cleaned and then be used again the following day, and they could last for years, these milk bottles. Not anymore. No, we have cartons made of plastic which we just throw in the bin or try and recycle, but let's be honest, most of the stuff we recycle gets binned anyway. Some days you just get an easy one. So we all have a job where we have a bad day, and then, you know, everything goes wrong, and then some days you have a job come along that's the easiest job in the world. I'm sure it's set up, but it's still quite amusing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else. A 4th of July celebration in the US has ended in terror when several fireworks malfunctioned at the Stadium of Fire event. The pyrotechnics veered into the 45,000 people crowd, putting up to 6 people in hospital. That should have been in the world news, but there you go. It's not funny, that. Jay Slater hunt hit by huge wildfires as crews struggle to contain the spread. TikTok sleuths now appearing to be leading the research or the search for missing British teenager Jay Slater, but they could be hampered by a series of wildfires breaking out nearby. Now, rumours are these wildfires are actually being set deliberately. More of that in a bit. UK to suffer inevitable run of thunderstorms and floods as summer flops. The much talk about heat dome is still going to come to the UK, but the rest of July appears to be heading for a washout if new long-term forecasts are to be believed. They can't even forecast the weather for tomorrow. What chance have we got from forecasting the weather for 6 weeks down the line or 7 weeks down the line? I don't know, Ray. I don't know. The fastest milkman speed 3, Father Ted. No, it was Ernie. He drove the fastest milk cart in the land. Psycho seagulls targeting fully grown cats by hovering and having a go at them. Pet owners are living in fear of their muggies being swiped by the feathered fiends whose monster appetites have grown along with the population in towns across the UK. Bring back the pigeons, I say. At least all they did was shit on you, they didn't nick your pets. Jay Slater mum admits we're looking after TikTok sleuth with GoFundMe cash. Having nearly reached £50,000, I didn't say anything. Missing British teenager Jay Slater's mum Debbie has now revealed what she's using the near 50,000k money on in an update on the page today. So she's paying people to look for Jay. Now I'm a TikTok influencer now with my 100,000 video, so I think I should get paid by them as well, and I'll sit at home and figure out what's going on. Something suspicious, probably. Trump in talks with Putin over how much Ukraine territory Russia can keep. Despite peace deals being made without Russian involvement, President Vladimir Putin has apparently been speaking to Donald Trump about how much Ukrainian land he can have. Now, President Trump has said he can end the war in a day. Is that how he's going to do it? By saying, right, you keep what you've got, and Zelensky, just put up with it, or do you want this war to go on forever? 5 biggest mysteries in Jay Slater case. Rolex theft to fleeing Airbnb. Jay Slater, it's like they've only got one picture of him. Jay Slater remains missing, and it's one of the most talked about cases on the internet. And below we look at some of the biggest mysteries surrounding the Brits' disappearance. I would have looked at them, but I'll be honest with you, I couldn't be arsed, so I didn't. One of my crushes when I was growing up, Kim Wilde. It turns out she's a loon. Alien mad pop icon Kim Wilde is backing Britain's saneness candidate Count Binface. The UFO-loving 1980s singing sensation has shown her support for Britain's sanest candidate, Count Binface, especially because of his extraterrestrial origins. I'm sorry, Kim, I'm not buying your newest album. I was going to do anyway, but that's not the point. Lettuce Liz Truss hopes to cling to her seat, but Veg keeps halting her. Lettuce Liz Trump is hoping to keep her seat as MP for South West Norfolk after unfortunately taking the title of the shortest serving PM. Only time will tell as voters hit the polls. Well, she didn't. She's no longer an MP. It's very sad. Keir Starmer gets 3-word warning from Count Binface as he gets keys to number 10. Don't cup. Those were the 3 words. Don't cup. Sadly, he's going to, but you know. I've seen her live supporting Michael Jackson at Wembley. Alright, excellent. Yeah, I know Kim Wilde. Didn't think you meant Count Binface. Creepy AI speed cameras to spy inside cars to catch drivers using phone. Privacy campaigners are raging over the new spy bots, saying they will make everyone feel like a criminal suspect as cops use AI to crack down on motorists flouting the law. But if they're breaking the law, surely the police need to use stuff to do it. If you're not using your phone in the car, you've got nothing to worry about. Joe Biden describes himself as a black woman during latest awkward moments. It's often seen as a good thing to see the world from different eyes, but President Joe Biden got a bit carried away with this idea when he appeared to describe himself as a black woman. You can identify as whatever you want, Mr. Biden. At least he's getting down with the kids, innit? Very trendy. George Michael fans rush to use iconic toilet transformed into epic shrine. A TikTok user was left in awe after spotting a toilet that had been transformed into a shrine dedicated to Wham frontman George Michael, and admitted she wouldn't leave. I mean, even if George Michael was still with us, I don't think I'd have much interest in her, even if she is a successful TikToker. You know what I mean? There's a reason why Toilet is a shrine to him. Keep up. Fantastic video. Let's go outside, because we said. Seen him at Wembley too. Okay. Jay Slater's family launched new search as uncle compares it to Madeleine McCann. Missing British teenager Jay Slater has been missing for more than 3 weeks, but the family appear to be launching their own search as one member has made a very stark comparison. Right. It's nothing like Madeleine McCann at all. Nothing like that. I don't for a moment think that any members of Jay Slater's family have any involvement in the death of Jay Slater. So it's got nothing. It's nothing like Madeleine McCann at all. What absolute nonsense. Britain to melt in high 30-degree C heat wave soon, as experts urge to get the barbecue out, i.e. don't have it in your living room like those mad Australians do. Despite the current cold spell, I hadn't noticed, Britain is just days away from baking in upwards of 30 degrees heat, with mercury even hitting a scorching 35 to 40 in 2 weeks' time. Can't wait. Can't wait. I'm so excited for this weather. And basically, that's what I look like when I'm walking down the canal, only not sat down because I'm walking, and not with a silly hat on, and I don't have a hairy chest, but you know that anyway if you watch my other videos. Larry the cat could be in trouble at number 10 as Keir Starmer brings his own pet. I see Keir Starmer chaired his first cabinet meeting and held a press conference during his first days in office. One thing he might have to not a bargain with is for a possible cat versus dog clash, because he's got a dog. What do I think happened to Madeleine? I've got no idea. I don't think that in any way, shape or form that the parents who were doctors give her a sedative while they went out, but misjudged it and then panicked and then hid the body somewhere. I don't think that happened. Not at all. No. Brits don't have hay fever, they have a deadly new COVID strain, claims expert. The new COVID, Flirt, which we've been talking about for a few weeks now, is leading into a rise in hospital admissions with symptoms similar to hay fever. Here's a breakdown of the two and how to distinguish between them. Well, I must admit, I've had hay fever when it's been pouring down with rain. It's not a theory. I don't actually know. I don't think that's what happened at all. But anyway, yeah, there's I've been sent a link today to a news article that's saying that there is a possibility that face masks might be mandated again in indoor spaces very soon if this variant catches on, which will be ironic because it'd be interesting to see how Labour cope with a pandemic. One detail of Jay Slater case worries pals and they want cops to investigate. A former British police detective is urging Spanish police to look into a stolen 12,000 Rolex in their quest to track down the teenager has been missing since last Sunday. More than last Sunday, it's about 3 Sundays ago. Anyway, talk about luck. Not the Jay Slater thing, but this. I mean, this is lucky, isn't it? This is an asteroid crater in Arizona. Look how close it came to hitting the visitor centre. I mean, talk about luck. That's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, it's so close to the visitor centre. Can you imagine if you'd been in there, in the visitor centre, and it had hit that? There'd be nothing left of you. Thank God it missed. Yeah, no, maybe, happen, possibly. Maybe, what? No, okay then. Apparently there's some other sporting event other than F1 going on Saturday. I wasn't aware of it. But it was good to see on this still, which was on Phil Foden's Instagram, a Wigan Athletic banner in the background. which I thought was pretty cool. The ticks get everywhere, you know. Oh, have you ever ordered something and you get the wrong order? You know, they replace it with something else. Well pissed off with Amazon. I ordered a dishwasher and they sent me a sandwich maker. Moving on. Naturists say strip off during heat wave and say, so what if the neighbours see? There was someone, I read somewhere a few years ago that most people have seen the neighbours naked. And I'm like, why? How? I don't get that. And I don't know. And naturists are encouraging Brits to strip off to cope with the heat wave, asserting, who cares if the neighbours can see? As Britain basks in temperatures of up to 30 degrees. Well, we're not there yet. To be fair, if I did it now in this temperature, well, the neighbours wouldn't see anything because it's too cold. Earth has a barrier around it to stop aliens from reaching us, say the aliens. A new conspiracy theory is dominating the internet after a Reddit user shared what they believe to be evidence showing there is a barrier protecting Earth from aliens. And they only know about it because the aliens told them. Well, how can the aliens tell you if there's a barrier stopping the aliens getting through? Lakeside Shopping Centre fire as large plumes of smoke fill air from car park. South Essex, its car park A is currently closed. This is a breaking news story. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Jay Slater defective exposes linked to criminal network as new timeline emerges. Oh, another picture of Jay Slater. TV detective Mark Williams Thomas has provided a new timeline of missing teenager Jay Slater's movements in Tenerife and claimed the disappearance as an underworld connection. Now, I hope for his sake it doesn't, but we'll wait to see. Longest ever missing person case as bloke disappears on Halloween 97 years ago. Marvin Clark's Halloween weekend disappearance remains unsolved and is still live on the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, where his current age is listed as 164 years old. I hope they find him soon. Prince Harry will release second memoirs after King Charles' death, claims an expert. Prince Harry will likely release his second memoir after his brother Prince William becomes king, according to a royal commentator. Following the release of his tell-all book Spare in January last year, is it that long already, a year and a half ago, the Duke of Sussex revealed that he's had enough content to write more books about his experience growing up as a royal. Well, he would do, he's 39 years old. Harry 39 said he was forced to cut out nearly half of the content on his first draft. So yeah, he's not learnt his lesson then, has he? He's still a prat. Shut up, Harry. Prince Harry is bored with difficult Meghan Markle and never sees his friends, says an expert. The Prince of Regrets. Prince Harry reportedly misses his home country and doesn't see his friends anymore because they don't like his wife Meghan Markle. Harry is increasingly bored and looking back across the Atlantic where most of his army and school friends still live and whom he never sees because they won't visit him in the States because they find Meghan difficult, says a royal expert, Tom Quinn. Come on, you nice. Come on with it. You're not going to believe anything written by Tom Quinn. Terrified teen spots Bigfoot with glowing eyes in Louisiana forest and calls 911 for rescue. And there's a picture of it. At least they've got a bloody decent camera. Zoinks! A group of terrified teenagers called police in a panic after they claimed they ran into a growling Bigfoot-like creature with glowing eyes. The recent high school graduates from Houma in southern Louisiana were camping in a national forest about 100 miles northwest of Baton Rouge when they reported the chilling encounter. Ooh. They're all smashed out of their heads on cannabis and lager though. And then, in 2010, sick of having their sign stolen, the residents of Shitterton bought a 1.5 ton block of stone and had the name of Shitterton carved in it. And that's brilliant, I love it. It's a bit Shitterton, but there you go. Sorry, too soon. Too soon. Let's cheer you up with a picture, with a video of cinema. There you go.
Welcome to Omniplex Wigan.
the max screen, including beds. Brings us to breaking news. Oh, I've slid down my chair as well. It's never good. Never slid down your chair. Why do I slide down my chair? Because I'm always fidgeting. I'm a fidgeter. I'm a sitting fidgeter. A fidgeter that sits. Just seeing if I've got up anymore in my 107,500 views. It's the most watched video I think I've ever had. No, it's not. No, it's not. The most watched video I've ever had is on YouTube. Oh, it was kissed over. We're on 108,000. So during the course of this program, 500 people have watched that video. What if Bigfoot is actually blurry in real life? Bitcoin? I never even thought of that. Yep. Case solved. That'll explain why the Loch Ness Monster is blurry as well, because the Loch Ness Monster is blurry. Wow. See, every day is a school day. Love it. Anyway. Deluge of Muslims incoming to towns near you. And, yeah, really? The scientific reasons why you shouldn't wash every day. Okay. Cheapest supermarket now second most expensive after hiking price of essential 13% last week. Oh dear. How to fall asleep in 5 minutes. Well, I've already told you how I do that. A Home Secretary launches new border security squad after scrapping Rishi Sunak's Rwanda plan. Rishi Sunak's Rwanda plan was a lot of rubbish. Emma Raducanu, who completely took Andy Murray yesterday, got kicked out of Wimbledon by losing, which is, I think, just desserts. I mean, I don't like Andy Murray particularly, but he should have had his last minute of glory, or loss, or whatever. Dum dum dum. Just see if there's any news. UK's youngest MP praised by BBC host for batting back questions during a live interview. Dum 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 dum. When to use a quick wash cycle in your washing machine. Okay. French election, alliance of left projected to take the most seats after far right won the first vote. It's like, oh, you didn't like that? Well, have another go then, like, you know. Keir Starmer vows to build bridges with EU as he tours Britain after election triumph. It won't last long. Russian forces advance on town named after New York. Wonder what it's called. BA flight from Heathrow, diverted from Heathrow as it struck by lightning. Man and woman charged with murder after death of 14-year-old girl. I caught a glimpse of that earlier and I have no more of the details on that. Sunak wants to quit sooner rather than later. Jack Grealish sends 6-word Man City message to Pep Guardiola amid transfer exit links. 25 most memorable fictional bands. 2024 British Grand Prix race results and latest F1 standings. I have to admit that the Grand Prix was pretty damn good. Not the result I wanted particularly. I felt sorry for George Russell, and I felt sorry for everyone else when this guy was retired, George Russell. But yeah, the rain helped add things up, spice things up a little bit, but that was good. How's Elder? She's alright, she's outside at the minute. As usual, the writing in Paris, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. They are a very emotional group of people. Is that the right way of describing it? I don't know. We'll go with emotional. So the breaking news is a bit rubbish, I'll be honest with you. New Culture Secretary called for the BBC to be mutilised. This is our MP, Lisa Nandy. Yep, she's now there. Who is in Keir Starr's new Labour cabinet? I don't know, don't really care. I was like, yeah, well, you can't be doing those. And, anyway, doesn't matter though, does it, if you think about it? That is it, I think. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Blair urges Starmer to introduce ID cards and avoid vulnerability on wokeism. There's a picture there of a woman holding a baby with both with sunglasses on, and with the line, "Why am I struggling to sell my £1.6 million home?" Well, because it's worth 40 grand. No, that's it. I'm British police to be deployed in Europe to fight people smugglers. That's going to go well, isn't it? Jay Slater pal says we ain't drugs mules as he hits back on online trolls and conspiracy theories. Yeah, there's something not right with that Jay Slater thing. Obviously I can't put a finger on it because I don't know what it is, because I don't know the family, I don't know him, I don't know the area he's in. It might be a tragic accident, it might be something more sinister, it might be all a massive massive decon? What? Decon? Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that's it. We've had enough. We've had enough of that. We've had enough of that nonsense. Anyway, there you go then. So, currently got 5 views, I've got 6 likes, which is good. Most views we've had has been when I've been doing nothing, which is ironic really, isn't it, if you think about it. It's been steady stream though. We've had 56 viewers, average is 9 minutes and 40. We've got 6 viewers now, and we have been on for 1 hour and 19 minutes, trying to cut it down a bit. That's why I only did Biden stories for America, because it kind of goes on a bit, doesn't it? So big shout out to Dream Frequency, Alan Barton, T, hope you're good, Angela O'Kane, Stephen LFC, Kelly, and Bitcoin Wolf Club, Cub as well, not club, Wolf Cub. Big shout out to you as well. Hurricane Beryl about to hit Texas. Got your days right now, Alan? Yeah, I've been really good tonight as per. Oh, it's been really good tonight. You're a legend. Big hug, Dream Stephen. You're all fat people. Yeah, I didn't see you in the chat. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching. All being well, I will see you again at a later date. That later date being in about, I don't know, a bit. Later than now anyway. Later than now. So, take care. Everyone saying goodbye to each other in the chat room. Nice. Everyone saying goodbye to each other in the chat room. That's nice. That's nice. Keep it up. People in the chat room saying goodbye thing. So that's it. I will say, all being well, we'll see you again soon. I'll be seeing you. Until next time. Bye.